If you are thinking of buying a property in Spain, this video is for you. In today's video, I would like to explain you how you buy properties in Spain. I would like to explain you in detail what the buying process is. My name is Cedric. I'm an estate agent in the city of Barcelona, where I do help international clients buy properties. Would you like to contact me? There's a link in the description below. Fill in a form and then we can jump on a call and I can see how I can help you in your Spanish project. Before explaining you the buying process in detail, I would like to remind you that Spain is a large country and that Spain is divided in 17 different regions. Every region might be slightly different in how you buy a property, what's the cost related to buying property. This means that if you analyze how to buy, you should really analyze it at the local level, otherwise you might make some wrong assumptions on, for instance, the cost, for instance, the process, for instance, agency fees. So please keep in mind, analyze it at local level to avoid any kind of mistake. Aspect number two, which is important to understand, is that the people that will be intervening in your purchase might have slightly different roles than the roles they might have in your home country. For instance, the notary here in Spain has a very limited role. He will step in at the end of the process, but all the process, all the due diligence should be done by a lawyer. This might be something different from in your country, so please take into consideration that Spain is not your home country and it might be different. When I speak with clients for the first time, I always explain them it's very important to prepare themselves before starting to actively look at properties. The preparation, it's not difficult, but I think a number of steps should be taken before you really actually start to look at properties. First of all, you should get your NIE as soon as possible. I remind you that a NIE is a Spanish tax number that will identify you with the Spanish administration. You probably should open a Spanish bank account as well. What I always advise my clients to do when they're serious about buying property in Spain is to create a team around them, otherwise they're buying alone. By team, I understand that you need for sure a lawyer in Spain. I always advise you to work with an architect that will do a technical survey of the property you would like to buy. And if you consider financing the purchase of the property partially or totally, I advise you to contact with a Spanish mortgage broker as well to see whether or not he has options for you and to see whether or not it might make sense for you to finance through Spain instead of your home country. Another aspect which is very important when you would like to buy a property in Spain, it's to define exactly what you are looking to buy. This is something essential that is often overlooked by international clients. I believe you should take the time to really think about what is the project you have, what is non-negotiable for you, what is important, what is less important, what is a nice to have, and based on that kind of reflection, based on that kind of thinking, you should be able to make a short list of those are my criteria, this is exactly what I'm looking for. The reason why you have to do that is otherwise I see clients that are looking all around the place, properties to refurbish, new build properties, houses, apartments, and so they really lack focus. If you know what you're looking for, it's actually much easier to find what you're looking for. Part of the preparation is also to have a very clear definition of what your budget is. You have to understand how much it costs to buy a property in Spain, how much the transfer costs are, how much a lawyer costs, how much a notary costs. It's only when you have a budget and you have a defined project that you should start looking to properties. Otherwise, you would spend months scrolling, you will come back and forth between Spain and your country, you will see many properties, and this is often a source of frustrations. So be specific, define what you're looking for, and define your budget. The buying process in Spain is a straightforward process. It's not a difficult process. It's between 6 and 7 steps. What's important to understand is from the first step on, you should do that with a lawyer. If you don't have a lawyer, it's the same as buying alone. Your lawyer should be working with you before you make an initial offer. I would like to explain you now different steps which are kind of usual steps here in Spain when you're buying a property, and I would also like to give you some advice on the way I believe this should be done to avoid mistakes. Imagine you have visited a property, you would like to make an offer on that property. You will see that in Spain it's often a verbal offer, it's not very formal. My advice would be to make a written offer validated by your lawyer. It's very important that your offer is very well written and that it has all the contingency clauses in it that are needed. If you need to finance the purchase, please put it in. You should put in a clause on the due diligence done by your lawyer. You should put in a clause on the due diligence by your architect as well. It's important from step one that your lawyer is there to help you, is there to give you advice. Now, if your offer has been accepted, the next step, and this might depend on the area where you're buying, it's you reserve the property through a reserve agreement. The reserve agreement is a contract where you pay a small amount and the property is taken off market. And the fact that you do that allows your lawyer to start doing his due diligence and make sure that the seller is not selling to someone else, but he gives you the time to do your own due diligence. Again, the reserve agreement is often done by agencies. My advice is your lawyer should have a look at it. Your lawyer should agree on the content of that reserve agreement and should also put in some clauses if needed to protect you. After the reserve agreement has been signed, after you transfer a small amount in principle on the vendor's account or on the account of the agency, the next step is that your lawyer starts to work doing the due diligence of the property. The due diligence has to be well done. Your lawyer has to check in depth who owns the property, what are you buying, is the property legal, is the property built according to licenses, permits, are there any outstanding debts on the property. So a due diligence, it's a step-by-step process that has to be done by a lawyer. A second aspect of the due diligence is to ask an architect to make a technical survey of the property. Typically, when you work with an architect, he will go and check out the property you would like to buy, will make a floor plan, will confirm the square meters, will check the installations of the property you're buying. And if you buy in a community of owners, might be in a building, for instance, he will also check that building, the structure, the lift, the roof, etc. So working with an architect is very important because in principle the lawyer will never go and check the property you're gonna buy. It's the architect that has to go there. Working with an architect might cost you between 500 and 800 euros probably. It's really worth the investment because he can save you lots and lots of money further down the road. Would there be some problems with the property that you didn't see? Parallel to the due diligence done by your lawyer, the lawyer will also start to prepare what we call in Spain an Arras agreement. The Arras agreement is a private agreement. You have three forms in Spain that are often used. The one we most of the time use here, at least in Barcelona, it's called Arras penitenciales. And this is a contract where, in principle, you pay 10% on the seller's account. If you pull out, you lose that money, and same for the vendor. If the seller pulls out, he has to give you back the money you paid and has to pay you the same kind of amount, which in principle is 10%. So it's a very balanced contract. No, there's very high commitment signing that contract. Therefore, it has to be done by your lawyer. The Arras agreement has to be written very precisely. It has to protect you as much as possible. So if you need contingency clauses on finance, please put them in. If you need some aspects of the due diligence to be confirmed, please put that in. The more cautious you are with that contract, I believe, the better. That's why your lawyer has to write it. Your lawyer has to approve it. Otherwise, I wouldn't sign any Arras agreement. Again, if you buy without a lawyer, it's the same as buying alone. Now the Arras has been signed, you pay 10%. The next logical step is to go to the deed. The deed is where the notary is actually intervening. As you can see, he intervenes in kind of the last part of the process. The public deed will be prepared by your lawyer and by the notary. The role of the notary is to make that contract legal and to make sure it is legal according to Spanish law. The day of signing, you should go. If you cannot go through a power of attorney, you can ask your lawyer to sign on your behalf, and it's also during that day that the final payments are done. In general, in Spain, we do it through certified checks, not always, but most of the time. And then there's a transfer of property that is being done the same day you will in principle receive the keys. Keep in mind that after the deed has to be registered in the land register as well. And once that is done, it's enforceable to third parties. So I hope my explanations were clear enough. What you have to remind of what I told you today, it's preparation is key. Your NIE, open your bank account, don't work alone but build a team around you. Your lawyer should intervene as soon as you find a property you like. He should be the person writing the offer for you. He should be the person that checks all the contracts for you and that writes them for you. Don't forget that an architect is a very important person here in Spain. Personally, I wouldn't buy without an architect because I have seen too many issues on properties, issues that were overlooked by lawyers. So combining both professionals, a lawyer and an architect, this is really the best way to protect yourself. Apart from that, the buying process, it's a very standard process. It's not difficult to understand. It's 6 to 7 steps. The key is that you don't do it alone. Last aspect of buying a property in Spain, it's all related to taxation. Obviously, when you buy a property, taxes are involved. There are taxes at 3 levels. The first level is taxation when you buy, then you have taxation when you own a property, and then also when you sell. This is a reason why when you start looking at properties, asking for fiscal advice might make sense as well. I always recommend my clients to do so. At least it's clear to them if they buy themselves, if they buy through a company, if they make different kind of setups. All those decisions should be taken in parallel with some fiscal advice. I hope this video was useful for you. If you have a project in Spain and you don't know where to start, feel free to contact me. I also have a buying guide that I can send you. It will cover much more in detail what I explained today. If you have a project in the city of Barcelona and you are a little bit confused on areas, prices, what is it worth, with who to work with, contact me and let's see if we can work together. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.